Welcome back to the Franklin American Mortgage Music City Bowl Preview Show. Cory Curtis with Dawn Davenport. And Dawn, these are really two evenly matched teams, both of them 6-6, but they certainly don't do things the same way.
No, offensively, they're going to want to do different things in this bowl game. Mississippi State, of course, they're going to want to run the ball. That's what they've done all year. And Wake Forest is going to want to throw the ball all over the field. That's what's worked for them this season. Sophomore quarterback Tanner Price has been great, and he has a favorite target in Chris Givens. Givens with 1,276 yards receiving this year, 9 touchdowns. That leads the ACC. Now, Price has been good. He's only thrown 6 interceptions all year, but he's gonna have to have some protection because that line has given up 28 sacks this year.
And Price, 20 touchdowns, only a sophomore, one of the up-and-coming quarterbacks in the country, and they've scored a lot of points this year, averaging almost 27 points a game. Now, over on the other side, you said Mississippi State wants to run the ball. That means Big Vic Ballard, 1,009 yards, 29 touchdowns over the last 2 years, and he comes in off of his best performance, 23 carries, 144 yards in the Egg Bowl against Ole Miss. Now, as for the quarterbacks, I say quarterbacks because they're going to play too. Tyler Russell and Chris Relf, both over 1,000 yards passing, but Relf also can run a little bit, right?
Yeah, and Russell is more the guy that's going to be able to throw the ball, and that might be what you see. Mississippi State usually chooses their quarterback by kind of the matchup, and Russell we could see a little bit more of him in this bowl game because Wake Forest hasn't been able to stop the pass very often this year, so we might see a lot of Tyler Russell.
All right, Dawn, you brought up Wake Forest and their struggle on that side of the ball. Let's talk a little bit about the defense for the Demon Deacons. They've got to do better.
They have got to do better. They're giving up about 28 points a game, 399 yards per game. They struggled to stop the run against Vanderbilt in their last game of the season. That can't happen against a Mississippi State team that can run the football. Now, the two bright points in their secondary, they've got Morel Noel, a freshman All-American, and then they've got Josh Bush, who has 6 picks. 2 of them came on a big stage in their 7-point loss to Notre Dame.
Over on Mississippi State, not so bad, giving up just under 20 points a game, 19th in the country. And if you're going to talk about the Bulldogs defense, you've got to start with Fletcher Cox. 12.5 tackles for loss this season and 4 sacks, but he's also got help in the secondary. John Banks had himself a fine season, 8th in the NCAA in interceptions this year, and he was a semi-finalist for the Jim Thorpe Award. One of these two teams is going to step up on the defensive front and win the Music City Bowl. Now, as for the head coaches, Dawn, this spotlight is not too big for either of these guys. They've fought the battles. They've been there before. And if we start with Mississippi State, we're going to talk about Dan Mullen, of course, an offensive coordinator for years with Urban Meyer at Florida and all those high-flying attacks. And this year, he's got them 6-6, 20-17 in 2 years. Not necessarily the year they wanted in Starkville, but they know because of Dan Mullen, they're headed in the right direction.
Well, over on the other side, not necessarily the year they wanted at Wake Forest, either at 6-6, but Jim Grobe has been there 11 seasons. He's done a really good job with that program. 68-66 all-time there, and he's won 3 bowls with Wake Forest.
2006, an 11-win season at Wake Forest, so Jim Grobe has done a big-time job. As for the intangibles, Dawn, for Mississippi State, I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Can you already hear the cowbells? They will be all over the Music City on December 30th. And for Wake Forest, this is not going to be a home game. The Mississippi State faithful will be there in droves.
Now, they travel well. They've won 4 straight bowl games, including a 52-14 rout of Michigan a year ago. Now, as for Wake Forest, I think they've got to embrace that underdog role. They're trying to bounce back from that really poor showing against Vanderbilt to finish the season. And let's face it, this is ACC versus SEC. The Atlantic Coast Conference hears about the SEC all year long. This is their chance to step up and knock off a team from the Southeastern Conference.
And do it in that national spotlight. I can't wait. It's going to be such a great game, such a great matchup, and really it's going to be a great week leading up to the Franklin American Mortgage Music City Bowl too. There's so much to do in Nashville, from concerts, events, you name it. If you want information, go to musiccitybowl.com. You can find everything you need there.
This is an even matchup, as we've said. Dawn's got Mississippi State. I'm picking Wake Forest. I know we can't wait to see the game this year. Once again, 5:40 at LP Field, and it's also televised on ESPN. This is the Franklin American Mortgage Music City Bowl Preview Show. For Dawn, I'm Cory. We'll see you there.